welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Jarrell here.
And I'm Josh, and today we're here to talk about 5 characters that died too soon and 5 characters that should have died earlier in the Walking Dead TV show.
Yeah, guys, so we found this article and we found this information which we wanted to discuss with you guys because some of these we kind of agree with, others may not be. We want to give you our opinions on this, which is a pretty cool article that we saw. And also get your opinions in the comments as well. So
some of these are insane. Actually, I glanced at the list again and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so this is in no particular order. We're just going to run through the 5 who died, who the article writer says died too soon, and 5 who should have died earlier.
That's the key here, guys. Right. This is from the article, so these are not our opinions, but we definitely are going to give our opinions. All right, so number 10, died too soon, Merle Dixon.
Yeah. I mean...
that's a toss-up for me.
Well, Merle is not... Merle and Daryl are not in the comic book, so their story is strictly for the show. So, guys, also want to get into this. Sorry, spoiler alert for the remainder of some of these characters. So we're going to be talking comic book similarities from the show, so we wanted to give that out there. Spoiler warning for the comics and the show.
I think a lot of our opinions are based upon what the character did in the TV show to that of what they did in the comic book, right? The first one right off the bat, there's not much there because, like Jarrell said, he's not in the comic book. So that's why it's kind of a toss-up for me, right? I mean...
I think probably Merle, his story went as well as it probably could have. I mean...
Here's why I say he died... Probably at the right time, because him dying kind of springboards Daryl's story, right?
Yeah.
With Merle there, I think it holds Daryl back. Yeah,
because Merle would have been trying to coax Daryl come over, and it would have kind of delayed his story up a little bit. Yeah. So I do agree with that. The next one should have died earlier, Lori Grimes. Now, I'm going to have to disagree because how Lori died in the TV show is basically, in a way, her story, how she died in the comics. Different how she died in the comic and the show, mixed up, but I think the flow was exactly the same. Mm-hmm. She died in a prison in the show, she died in a prison in the comics. Yeah. So, to be honest... I'd have to disagree with that. Should have died earlier. When would you have killed her in the show? Exactly. And I loved the death. I thought it was perfect timing, and here's why. According to them, she died too early, okay? If she would have died sooner than what we got on the TV show, then we would have lost the whole Rick going crazy. I think he would have went crazy no matter what. Right. But just the scene in that prison was amazing. Yeah. Like, there was the scene where he sees her outside of the prison, runs after her, and has an amazing scene. I think it's a deleted scene. Yeah. But it was awesome. And you wouldn't have got that if she would have died outside of the prison. Right? But you know what we're also missing? A very key character, if she would have died early, wouldn't be around right now.
Judith Grimes.
Judith Grimes. Yeah. So she gave birth to Judith in the prison as she died. So Judith would not be alive if she died earlier. So that would be a completely... crazy to think about that she's not even here right now because her character has grown so much. But
what I didn't like about that was the whole Rick and her at odds before her death.
Yeah, I didn't like that in the show.
Yeah, I get it, right? Under the circumstances, but it just sucked to not see them get at least a little bit of closure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so the next one, died too soon, Beth Greene.
No, I have to disagree with that.
Yeah.
She's another character who's not in the comics. Yes, Maggie did have sisters, but not one that was named Beth. Her story after the prison is, that was pretty much it. And you could tell they weren't going anywhere really with her. The hospital thing was just, I hated it.
I hated that.
I absolutely hated it, and I hated her death. But yeah, I'd have to disagree with that.
Yeah. Her death was shock value, I'll give you that.
It was shock value. I mean, you could have said, if you really wanted more shock value, you could have had her die at the farm. Maybe during an attack, maybe during the attack or something like that.
Well, the brothers did. The brother and the other sister did.
Yeah, but they could have had her die there too. Yeah. But, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So.
You're up.
The next one should have died earlier, Gregory. The reason I'm have to disagree with that one is because he followed his comic book storyline pretty much to a T, almost.
He did.
I mean, he died the exact same way he did in the comics.
And I think a lot of these, well, some of these on the list are like that, and that's why I would disagree with that. I too disagree with that. I think he died at a perfect time.
No, I can understand why people might say, oh, they should have killed him earlier because he was annoying and he kept, betraying our group.
That was his character.
That was what he did. He was trying to survive under Negan's rule. Well, mostly Simon. Well, and Negan. But that's just who he was. He was a slippery snake.
Slippery snake. If anything, I think they could have dragged it out a little bit longer.
A little bit.
I think they could have had him try and get his, snaky feelers into the community a little bit more and overthrow Maggie. Yeah. Because there was that presence there. But I think in the comic book, they drove it home a little bit more.
They did. Yeah, they definitely did. So.
All right. So the next one, died too soon, TDog.
I have to agree with that.
I agree with that.
To be honest, TDog, they really didn't do anything with him at all.
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of just a background character, to be honest. I mean, when we first met him, we thought like, oh, this guy's cool. He stands up to Merle. And then it was just like, after that, it was just like, whatever.
Yeah, we didn't really get even a backstory with him. There just wasn't much there. And he lasted all the way to the prison.
Yeah.
So I was kind of shocked. I thought that, we'd get more from T-Dog. So that one, yes, I do agree with.
Definitely agree with that. Ooh, this next one?
I wholeheartedly disagree with this.
Should have died earlier, Carl Grimes.
You're insane.
No.
You're insane.
No.
I could go on and on about this particular one. First of all, let's start with the fact that there are tons of storylines for him to take had he not died the shitty way that he died.
Yeah, a lot of story left because Carl survives the entire comic book series.
Spoiler alert.
Well, we already said spoiler alert. Yeah.
He is a central figure to the end of the entire thing, the whole shebang,
and the central figure to Rick as well.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people. The thing that people didn't like about Carl was the actor. That's the thing. They thought the actor was annoying.
Yeah.
But you have to think about this: the actor, who was a kid, is acting. He's being directed how to act. His personality, yes, you could say when he was younger, he was annoying, always whining. Well, that's a kid, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not really the actor's choice to do that. He's being directed on how to act and how to take his emotions. But Carl, Carl was badass, and he is badass.
Yeah,
and
I think it was a huge mistake. And honestly, I think it is a mistake.
He would have ruined the story.
I think it's a mistake that the writers and the power to be at AMC will probably never get over.
No.
That's going to haunt them for a long time, that particular death. It was unneeded. And just poorly done.
Yeah. And it pretty much was probably one of the main reasons why Andrew Lincoln wanted to leave.
Exactly. I think you're right. I think we'd still have Andrew Lincoln on the show if
Chandler Riggs.
Thank you. If Chandler Riggs was on the show.
I mean, yes, Andrew Lincoln probably could have still made the decision for his family, which is what he did. Mm-hmm. But I think that maybe with Chandler Riggs leaving, it sped that process up.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, I'm going to spend time with my family now. I'm done. So
the kid bought a house in Atlanta.
Yeah, a lot of shady stuff went on with
that. That was just terrible.
So
yeah, I need to get off that one before I just go crazy, right?
Yeah.
So you're up.
I did that. I did Carl Grimes.
Oh, you did. Oh, sorry. Died too soon, Hershel.
I mean, he pretty much died at the prison like he did in the comics.
Different way,
but
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it was right. It was right.
I mean, to be honest, it would have been good to have Hershel around after the prison for
the
while.
Sake of the actor, absolutely, because he was amazing. Scott Wilson?
Yeah, Scott Wilson, amazing actor,
amazing actor.
But
Rest in peace.
But I think Hershel would have brought a lot of. I think he would have done really well for our group, especially with Rick after the prison.
Absolutely.
I know they they were all spread out and everything. Well, I don't know, because then Terminus. I don't know,
that's true.
That would have been insane.
But you saw towards the end of his storyline how he was influencing Rick. saying that there was more to life, that we could live together. We can live in peace. It's one of the main factors as to how Rick became who he was. Like, Rick was always a good person at heart, I think.
Yeah.
But Hershel instilled a lot into Rick. Terminus is a different story.
Yeah, if Hershel he would have been caught, that would have been insane. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think he died. It's yes and no. I mean, yes, he delivered his comic book kind of storyline, and then it could have been cool to see him a little bit further after that too.
Yep.
So the next one should have died earlier. Andrea,
wholeheartedly disagree.
No, you guys have heard us say our Andrea spiel.
This
for a long
is another
time.
Carl Grimes for
That's
me.
another one. Yeah,
I think that this was done.
They destroyed her character.
Ruined. And it wasn't even the death. It wasn't even that. It was the having sex with Shane. It was having sex with the governor.
Yeah. And I don't care. Like they necessarily didn't have to do the same comic book storyline where Rick and Andrea got together. No. That I don't care about. I care about the really good hard specifics of her character storyline that they completely threw out the window.
She was a badass.
She was awesome.
She was a badass.
She was a leader.
Character. She was a leader and an awesome sniper.
And in the show, just made her weak. After her sister died, she was weak. And then she got stronger because she got a little crazy with Shane. And, Shane was giving his kind of craziness to her. And she's like, yeah, this is cool. I want to get crazy and toughen up. And then once she went to the governor, just like, it's over with, dude.
They destroyed that character.
It's done.
They destroyed that character.
Yeah.
And a lot of, this is the same that you mentioned with Carl Grimes. A lot of people didn't like the actress that portrayed Andrea. They hated her.
I did. I loved her. I thought she was great.
I thought she was fine.
I thought she was great. It's just the writing that made her
exactly.
bad.
The whole, woe is me type, attitude that she had. How she wanted to just die in the CDC building.
Oh, God.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the next one kind of goes in line with one of our videos that we did.
Yeah.
So, died too soon? Yeah, I'll take this one. You take the last one. Yeah, sorry. Died too soon? Tyrese. Definitely. Tyrese was awesome. We did a video about Tyrese that it sucked the way that he died, but he definitely died too soon. They could have done more with his character.
He did outlive his comic book counterpart, though.
He did do that,
I mean, he was supposed to have the Hershel death that was in the TV show. He was supposed to get his head cut off by the governor. So I think it was nice not to see that, because I would hate to see Tyrese
that would have been
get that death, even though it was an iconic comic book moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he passed that mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he passed that milestone as an actor and the character, you're like, okay, we might get a lot of Tyrese.
Do some more,
Yeah.
And they kind of dwindled him down. They made him a babysitter. Yes, he was taking care of Judith and the girls with
awesome
Carol. Amazing scene. But it was sad, his death. I mean, he got bit. He had his arm cut off, thinking that they would stop the infection, and he bled out. Which actually, his death scene was a iconic comic book death of another character who's still around right now, who's on Fear the Walking Dead, Morgan Jones. So, yeah.
I forgot all about it. It's been so long since I've read the comics. But, I will say that his death scene was amazing.
Yeah. It was great.
It was
the music,
well done.
The music.
Yeah.
When I was did the intro to our video for Tyrese, I grabbed a snippet of his death scene, and just the music, it made me cry again. But I haven't seen that scene for so long. It's just like, oh, God.
There's two things I need to do.
Made me cry.
It's rewatch the series and reread the comic.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, so the last one. Hit it up, man.
All right. Should have died earlier, the governor. No. He died right where he needed to die, and that is the prison.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say, why I disagree with this is because, again, if you kill him earlier than when he died, you lose that whole second battle at the prison. Mm-hmm. You lose that. And that was a really iconic scene. I mean, he beat the shit out of Rick Grimes.
Right. It made them leave. It made them get back on the road. Like, if he was killed earlier before that, then how many more seasons would we have had in the prison?
3 or 4.
It would have gotten boring.
They probably would eventually get overrun.
Yeah.
But he was a major factor in losing that prison.
Yeah.
And I actually liked the storyline of him Man, when he met Rick Grimes, when they had the meetup.
Oh, in that little barn?
Yeah, dude, that was sick.
That was awesome. It was so good. I mean, I don't think the governor should have been killed earlier. I mean, a lot of people didn't like the governor. You know, I would probably say non-comic book readers probably hated him. Yeah. Even comic book readers may not have liked him either.
He was mad. He was changed a lot for the television show.
He was. A lot of his character aspects were kept similar, but of course, when we're reading from paper to seeing on screen, it's different. But in the comics, guys, he was a lot more brutal.
He was ruthless.
There were some scenes in the comic book that they did not do in the show. They kind of did, but it was very, very dumbed down. It was kind of like Cinemax rated. Like, it was just very nothing. Like, in the comics, guys, what he did to Michonne, we won't get into it, but it was brutal.
It was brutal.
But she did some brutal things to him.
Take a look at what he did to Rick in the comics. He cut his freaking hand off.
Yeah.
And now there are reasons why they couldn't do that in the television show. We've talked about this before. You know, the cost of CGIing that hand for the rest of the show was not in the budget.
Not in the cards.
And I almost like that they didn't cut off his hand.
Yeah, I think that was good.
But yeah, I mean, he was a totally different character. And... You know, but I think that it was good for the show, and you know, he died right.
Yeah, I think he died the way similar to how he basically did in the comics. I think his story was spot on.
I really would have liked Rick to take him out though.
Yeah, that would have been
and not get his ass beat.
I know. Rick Grimes got beat up so much in the TV show to almost death. It was just comical sometimes. So. Let us know what you think of this list. Again, this was not our list. We were giving our opinions from an article that was released, but we might, come up with another list of some characters. We know that we did one previously that we want to do a part 2 on, so we'll definitely do a part 2 on this. I think of some other characters from the show that we give our opinions on.
How about we dig deep and get some characters that, you typically wouldn't think of.
Yeah, we're going to dig deep. So let us know what you think in the comments. Smash the like button. Feel free to subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you're notified. Stay tuned for more videos from us. I am Jarrell.
I'm Josh.
We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.